I hope all of you are doing good. Let's start today's chapter, Congruence of Triangles. In geometry, we learn about geometrical figures, their properties and their relations with each other. Every geometrical figure has its shape, size and position. In two geometrical figures, by simply looking, we can find whether they have the same shape or not. When two figures are of the same shape, we try to find whether they are of the same size or not. In order to do so, we cut the two figures and put one over the other. If they cover each other exactly, then we say that the two figures are of the same size and shape. When two figures have exactly the same shape and size, we say that they are congruent. So in this chapter, we shall study the congruence of line segments, angles, triangles and other figures. Okay, congruent figures. Objects which have the same shape and size are called congruent objects and their relationship is known as congruence. Suppose two figures are of the same shape. To see if they are of the same size or not, we cut them apart and put one over the other. If they cover each other exactly, they are of the same shape and size. This method of comparing two figures is known as the method of superposition. Two plane figures are congruent if each, when superposed on the other, covers it exactly, and the symbol for congruence is that we use is this. Two equal to sign and then this sign. This is the sign of congruency. Okay. Some types of congruent figures. By superposition, we can easily verify the following facts. Number one, congruence of line segments. Two line segments are congruent if they have the same length. Okay, and like this is PQ and PQ and this is RS and both are equal. So we write that segment PQ is congruent. This is the sign of congruent segment RS. 2. Congruence of two angles. Two angles are congruent if they have the same degree measure. Okay. For example, these two angles are equal. That is, angle AOB is equal to angle PQR. That is, angle AOB is congruent to angle PQR. 3. Congruence of two squares. Two squares are congruent if they have the same measure of side. Okay, this is square ABCD and this is a square PQRS. If AB is equals to PQ, we write square ABCD is congruent to square PQRS. 4. Two rectangles are congruent if they have the same length and breadth. Okay, for example, look at these two rectangles. If AB is equals to PQ and BC is equals to QR, we write rectangle ABCD is congruent to rectangle PQRS. Now, next, two circles are congruent if they have the same radii. Okay, if the radius of C1 is equals to radius of C2, then we say that circle C1 is congruent to circle C2, right? Next, congruence of triangles. Two triangles are congruent if pairs of corresponding sides and corresponding angles are congruent. Let us consider two triangles, ABC and PQR. Then triangle ABC is congruent to triangle PQR if there are conditions. Okay, if AB is equals to PQ and BC is equals to QR and AC is equals to PR. Okay, and also angle A. Now we will use angle A is equals to angle P, angle B is equals to angle Q and angle C is equals to angle R, right? So while superposing one triangle on the another triangle congruent to it, we match the corresponding sides and vertices. In congruence of triangles, the order of letters is important. This symbol stands for matching. Okay, for a triangle, three sides and three angles are the 6 matching points for congruence. However, it is not required to verify all these conditions for establishing the congruence of triangles. When some of the conditions are satisfied, others follow. This soon we shall see that to establish the congruence of two triangles, it is sufficient to verify that only 3 pairs of particular corresponding parts are equal. There are 4 such cases. They are the following. Case 1, SSS, that is side, side, side congruence property. Two triangles are congruent if the 3 sides of one triangle are respectively equal to the 3 sides of the other triangle, right? We shall prove this statement by the following experiment. Draw a triangle PQR and 3 sides are given, and then draw another triangle XYZ and also measure of 3 sides are given. Okay. Now take a trace copy of triangle PQ and try to make it cover triangle XYZ with X on P, Y on Q and Z on R. So you will observe that the two triangles will cover each other completely on two-point portion. Okay, that means triangle PQR is congruent to triangle XYZ. Case 2, SAS, side angle side congruence property. Two triangles are congruent of two sides and the included angle of one triangle are respectively equal to the two sides and the included angle of the other. We shall prove this with the help of the following experiment. Draw triangle PQR. One side is given 6 cm, other side is 5 cm and angle Q is given 70. Next, draw another triangle XYZ with sides are given and angle is also given. Now, make a trace copy of triangle PQR and try to cover XYZ with P on X, Q on Y and R on Z. You will observe that two triangles cover each other exactly. That means triangle PQR is congruent to triangle XYZ. Case 3, ASA, that is angle side angle congruence condition. Two triangles are congruent if two angles and the included side of one triangle are respectively equal to the two angles and the included side of the other. The following experiment will establish the truth of this statement. Okay, draw triangle PQR where QR is equals to 6 cm and angle Q is equals to 60 degree and angle R is equals to 50 degree. Also draw another triangle XYZ with angle Y is equals to 60, Z is equals to angle 50 degree and Z is equals to 6 cm. Now what will you do? You will make a trace copy of triangle PQ and try to cover XYZ with P on X, Q on Y and R on Z. You will observe that the two triangles cover each other exactly. That is, triangle PQR is congruent to triangle XYZ. Case 4, RHS, that is right angle hypotenuse side congruence property. Two right triangles are congruent if hypotenuse and one side of one triangle are respectively equal to the hypotenuse and the corresponding side of the other. We shall prove that truth of this statement by the following experiment. Draw a triangle PQR with PQ is equals to 10 cm, R is equals to angle R is equals to 90 degree and QR is equals to 6 cm. Draw another triangle XYZ with XY is equals to 10 cm, angle Z is equals to 90 degree and Z is equals to 6 cm. Make a trace copy of triangle PQR and try to cover this triangle with P on X, Q on Y and R on Z. And you will observe that two triangles cover each other exactly. That means triangle PQR is congruent to triangle XYZ. Note, in two triangles, if the three angles of one triangle are respectively equal to the three angles of the other, then the triangle are not necessarily congruent. Okay. Number 2, two congruent figures are equal in area. However, two figures having the same area need not be congruent. Okay. Example 1, state the correspondence between the sides and angles of the following congruent triangles. Triangle PQR is congruent to triangle XYZ. Okay, so P matching to X, Q, Y and R, Z or Z. Okay, therefore PQ is equals to XY. Okay, QR is equals to YZ or YZ and PR is equals to what? XZ, okay, or XZ. Also angle P is equals to angle X, angle Q is equals to angle Y, angle R is equals to angle Z or Z. Okay. Exercise 20.1. Applying SAS congruence property, state which of the following pairs of triangles are congruent. Means there should be two sides and one angle which are equal to each other. Okay. So as we can see in figure 1, this side is equals to this side is equals to this side. That means two sides are equal and this angle is equals to this angle because vertically opposite angle. That means these two pairs of triangles are congruent. Okay. Things to remember. Number 1, two figures are congruent if they have exactly the same shape and size. Two line segments are congruent if they have the same length. 3, two angles are congruent if they have the same measure. Two squares are congruent if they have the same side length. 5. Two rectangles are congruent if they have the same length and breadth. 6. Two circles are congruent if they have the same radii. 7. Two triangles are congruent if the three sides and the three angles of one triangle are respectively equal to the corresponding parts of the other. 8. SSS congruence property. Two triangles are congruent if three sides of one triangle are respectively equal to the three sides of the other. 9. SAS congruence property. Two triangles are congruent if two sides and the included angle of the one triangle are respectively equal to the two sides and the included angle of the other. 10. ASA, that is angle side angle congruence property. Two triangles are congruent if two angles and the included side of one are respectively equal to the two angles and the included side of the other. 11. RHS congruence property. Two right triangles are congruent if the hypotenuse and one side of one triangle are respectively equal to the hypotenuse and one side of the other. 12. In an isosceles triangle, the angles opposite to equal sides are equal. 13. The bisector of the vertical angle of an isosceles triangle bisects the base at right angles. And 12. Two congruent figures are equal in area, but two figures having the same area may not be congruent. Right, students? I hope you have understood this chapter. Now you will do practice of the exercise.